Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the KotLC Fanbase channel. My name is Jaiya and today we have some more KotLC extra deleted scenes from Shannon Messenger. I'm going to do a little recap if you haven't seen my latest video. Basically, Shannon Messenger had a baby and because of that, book 9 is going to be arriving in fall 2022. But to make up for the year wait, she will be celebrating Keeper Summer, where there's a new KotLC activity every Monday and a never before seen deleted scene every Thursday. In my last video, I went over the deleted scenes for book 1 and for book 2, and today we have deleted scenes from Everblaze and Exile. Right before you begin, make sure you like the video and subscribe down below to help us on our journey to 10K. We just hit 8,000. I just want to say thank you. Also check some of the links in the description, like our Discord server. And without further ado, let's jump straight into the first post. Alright, the first post says, if you could choose one character from the series to be in your real life, who would you pick? And I feel like this is a very obvious answer. Everyone is going to choose Keith. I mean, honestly, if I could choose anybody, it probably would be Keith, but some honorable mentions are definitely Dex or Biana. And yeah, probably Sophie too. And the next post says, click the link in my bio to read a deleted scene from Everblaze. This week's deleted scene is from when Sophie heals Finton's mind in Everblaze. I've actually not read this scene yet, so this is going to be my first time reading and reacting. So let's just get straight into it. I'm really excited. Deleted scene from Everblaze. I removed this scene from the sequence where Sophie heals Finton's mind because I decided it worked better to have these kinds of interactions happen between just Sophie and Fitz instead. I also worried about having Sophie push too hard for the healing since it goes very wrong. I didn't want her to feel too responsible or guilty. Signed, Shannon. Sharp jostling yanked Sophie back to reality and she ripped open her eyes to find Orlai shaking her by the shoulders. Sorry, Orlai said, pulling Sophie as far from Finton as the cramped room would allow. Your mood had turned troubling. Sophie glanced at her palms where half-moon imprints told her she'd been digging her nails into her skin. I don't know what happened. I followed the warmth like I always do, but somehow I ended up in a very dark place. Were you trapped? Kenrick asked. More like I didn't want to leave. The heat was hypnotic. She could still feel it, burning in her mind, keeping her warm in the freezing tower. Tiergan crouched in front of her, staring into her eyes. I don't like the sound of that. Me neither, Alden admitted. Is it something I could help with? Fitz asked. I think it's best not to risk allowing Finton to influence a second telepath, Orlai said quietly. But I'm still the guide, Fitz reminded everyone. You are, Orlai agreed, but I think it's better if I continue being the one to monitor, assuming we continue at all. Silence followed as the counselors all exchanged looks. Eventually, Councillor Tarek moved to Sophie's side. Can you heal Finton? I think so, Sophie hedged, not wanting to lie, but not wanting to make anyone doubt her either. It seems like some of his consciousness is still in there, so I should be able to. But his mind is different than anything I've ever seen, so it's hard to say for sure. Then perhaps we should stop now, Alden said quietly. I don't think you realized how long Orlai had to shake you before you came back, Sophie. I was seconds away from coming after you. But I know what to expect now, Sophie countered, not wanting to lose this chance to find the rebels and maybe Julie's killer. Surprisingly, no one argued. They didn't look happy either, and she heard several sighs and mumbles as she scooted back to Finton's side. But they didn't try to stop her as she took Fitz's icy hand. I'll let you know if I need you, she promised. No, you'll let me know when it's safe for me to join you, whether you think you need me or not, he corrected. Sophie smiled. Fine. She gave herself 3 slow, deep breaths to steady her nerves, then she reached for Finton's temples and shoved her way back into his mind. So this scene was definitely a bit shorter than the other scenes, but I liked how it gave us some more Kenrick lines, I guess. He only had a couple sentences, but it was so cool to see him again. I feel like with this scene, it wouldn't be that much different if they included it in the books. Like, it didn't really seem that important as the scenes we saw previously. I wouldn't really mind this being in the books, but I guess since Shannon took it out, it was probably for a good reason.
Hello everyone, my name is Troy. I'm in this video too, baby. Let's go! Before I go into my thoughts, definitely make sure to subscribe to my new channel because the Don't Forget Me music video coming in 2 days. OMG. By the time you guys see this, the premiere page will probably be up so you can chat with me there. It's gonna be great. Okay, so for the deleted scene in Everblaze, I quite thought it was weird, so I'm glad that Shannon kind of cut it out. I feel like as a whole, it didn't really make sense in the sequence as well because why was there such a long break in between the first look and then the actual mind break? Didn't make a lot of sense, and I think Shannon's point about Sophie pushing too hard for the mind break was a bit correct, because again, Kenrick died and then Fenton escaped, so yes, there was a terrible outcome from this deleted scene. I think it's also important to note that Sophie actually did have a good reason for doing the mind break. Like, I don't quite agree with Shannon's reason for cutting it, but I will just say the whole thing is wacky, so it doesn't really matter the logistics or anything like this, because it does just interrupt the flow of the scene, I feel like, and has too much outside voices. Like, we just need to hear Sophie and Fitz and Fenton. Those are the three main people in this scene. We don't need to hear anyone else.
Okay, the next post is, what is your favorite scene in the entire series? This one is really hard for me because there are so many different scenes and unique scenes and really great scenes. I probably have to go with any Sokeef scene definitely fits this. I feel like when Sophie brought him the EO Fudges was definitely a good scene. Maybe it was a funny scene. So yeah, I really don't know what to pick. You guys can comment down below what your answer would be. And the next post is the deleted scene from Neverseen. This week's deleted scene is from Neverseen when they are making their way through Florence to meet up with Mr. Forkle. I'm really excited about this because Neverseen is one of my favorite books, probably maybe like top 4 or something. And this is also going to be my first time reading too. First deleted scene from Neverseen. I removed this scene from the sequence where Sophie and her friends make their way through Florence to meet up with the Black Swan because the first draft felt like it took me forever to get the group to Louveterre. Sweet as this moment is, none of the information revealed is vital info, so I made the book stronger to cut it out and tighten the pacing. Signed, Shannon. Sophie sighed. She knew Mr. Forkle was right, but that didn't change her frustration. I just need something. One piece of truth among all the lies. Mr. Forkle glanced at the echo dawns circling the river, looking very conspicuous and sea monstery and sure to be spotted by someone if they didn't hurry, before he heaved a sigh of his own and pointing to her purple backpack. Is Ella in there? Sophie nodded. She peeled back the slimy membrane and unzipped the bag, showing him the bright blue Hawaiian shirt-wearing elephant. Mr. Forkle reached for Ella almost tenderly. Her head had more stuffing when I bought her. He smiled when Sophie sucked in a breath. Looks like your mother held true to her promise. That's one of the reasons I chose your parents. They were good, loyal people. The best humans I met, in fact. But I digress. I bought Ella at the hospital gift store after I triggered your telepathy. I knew it was far too early for you to catch such responsibility, so I wanted you to have something to bring back the security I'd taken away. But I thought you would respond better if the gift came from your family, so I gave it to your mother and made her promise to claim it as her own. He sounded so sincere. It took Sophie a second to remember there was a darker side to his little anecdote. Why did you trigger my telepathy when I was 5? That is a story for another time. For the moment, he held out Ella, this is who I am. The person who bought you your favorite blue elephant because I wanted to make sure you'd be able to sleep. Sophie watched Ella dangle from his grip, her past and her future caught in a single moment. She couldn't walk away from it either. Let's go, she said, taking Ella back. Wow, I actually really like this scene. I really like the information that it gives, even though it's the shortest one you get. I really think this should have been in the book. She said she removed it for pacing, but it's not even 2 pages long. I really wouldn't have minded if this scene was in the books. I feel like it reveals, it's not vital information, but it's cool information that I would have hoped to see in books.
Okay, so for this deleted scene, I actually disagree with the cut. I feel like it's really important to humanize Mr. Forkle because he is a very strong figure in the books, and obviously it makes sense for Shannon to especially empathize, like have us empathize with Mr. Forkle before he dies in the next book. I think it's really important to add those scenes so that we love Mr. Forkle before he goes, especially like from a writer's point of view. I will say that it does kind of digress from the point. The whole scavenger hunt was super long in finding Mr. Forkle, but I think other things could have been cut besides that. I think this whole chase, like the gelato thing, like there's so many other things that could have been cut, but this scene, if that makes any sense, like, this seems important to me that Mr. Forkle was the one who bought Ella. I don't think it was mentioned in any other scene in the books, and it's pretty important information on an emotional standpoint, so I'm just wondering why she cut it and why she couldn't have just cut the stupid gelato scene, Fitz and Sophie eating ice cream. Like, okay, sorry. Back to Joey.
Alright, that is going to wrap up this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed these deleted scenes and a couple other posts by Shannon Messenger. I really like how she's giving us stuff to do during the wait for book 9. Like, she's giving us deleted scenes, which is a really cool insight. There's a fly. It's a really cool insight into the world of like editing, where you have to remove scenes, and like you just have to think, how would the books be different if this scene was in there? Before we end the video, make sure you have liked the video if you enjoyed all these deleted scenes, and subscribe down below so you can help us on our journey to 10,000 subscribers. Check some of the links in the description if you're interested for more content from us. And that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, I enjoyed making it. I'll see you guys next week.